Today's a really cool day, so we're gonna get out here in the garden, we're gonna do some work, and yeah, just gonna bring you along. The first thing we're gonna work on is we're gonna work on tying all these tomatoes, as you can see right behind me. All of them, some of them are kind of falling over, so that we're gonna work on that real quick. We've got some string, we're just gonna tie them up. So let's get started. As you can see this little sucker right here that's in between the main stem of the tomato and a branch going out from the tomato. This right here you want to pull off, just like this. It's easy, it'll snap straight off. Now why do we want to do this? Well, it helps the plant focus more on the fruit, and put more energy in the fruit instead of developing and expanding more on the plant itself. Now if this was a little bit bigger, we could actually take this and plant this. And we have it actually put it in water and let it root, and then you can take them and plant them in your garden. For example, this one's a huge sucker right here. Look at it. Here's the branch coming out, and here's the main branch. This one needs to be pulled off. This is kind of really big, but we're going to break it off. Try to be careful doing this. There we go. You can take this and plant this, put this in water, and it will root, and then you can take it and plant it in your garden. Now I'm going to finish doing all these tomatoes real quick. Over here we have a couple of tomatoes, as you can see, growing, and we're going to take this tomato and stick this in a jar right here, just right down there. There we go, and it should start rooting. As of now, I don't think we have, oh no, actually we do. We have one right there rooting, so we got a bunch of roots, so we could probably take this one out and plant it in the garden. So it's raining right now, so we're kind of moving into the indoor projects. But real quick, before I start moving into the indoor projects, I want to show you real quick on the computer just how much rain we actually do get. As you can see on the screen right here, you can see a graph, and this is basically the graph for the year. This is how much rain we've gotten in the year. Now it's from April 2019 to April 2020, and we've gotten about, let's see, 231 inches in that time period. And in April 2020 we got 19 inches so far. That's kind of how much we get every year, I guess. I think it's been pretty high for the last 2 years, the rainfall. Anyways, thought I'd share that with you. Hopefully it'll stop raining soon, but if it doesn't, we're just going to move on to some indoor projects. We got one that we're about to do in a minute, so I'll share that with you. Now what we're doing over here is putting up a couple lines, inside lines, so when it rains we can hang up clothes, and that's what we're doing right here. Right now I'm going to measure this area right here in 4 sections and then put 3 wires up. That's what I'm going to do. First measure it, mark it, and then put in some screw eyes, and then we'll put up the wires. Yes, it stopped raining, so now we have to do something in the garden real quick, and then we'll move on to another project. But let's show you what I'm doing over here real quick. Now I showed you this tomato right over here, and that it's getting some roots. Let me pull it out. So we actually have 2 in here. I'll separate this one real quick. and put that one back in the water in a minute. But this one's ready to be planted, and we have one that just died in our garden. Let's take the one that died and replace it with this one. So we're planting this now, as you can see. My mom is, and we also have another one that has died as well that we just noticed. This one right here also died, but we don't have one of these sprouted for this. However, we do have some others that are growing up in our bed, which is what we're going to pull up and replace it with. Now, as you can see a bunch of these little babies. Basically what we do is we take the cherry tomatoes, which majority of these are cherry tomatoes, and we just take the cherry tomato and we squeeze it into the dirt, and then you'll have volunteer ones come up. That's what works for us. Usually when we purposely put them in like a seed starter, they just don't do very well. So we just do them out here and they do great. I told you in some other vlogs that we have this type of pumpkin type of squash thing growing here on our homestead that we got from some local people that are growing it. And look, now we have a little tiny one starting to grow. That's wonderful. Hopefully it won't fall off like my pumpkins did in my garden. So how many tomatoes do you think we have in the entire garden?
I think in this section right over in here we have about 100. Now most of them are all cherry tomatoes. There's maybe one large tomato, but everything's cherry tomato. And I just use the cherry tomatoes. I actually do make pizza sauce out of it and pasta sauces out of the cherry tomatoes, even though it's probably not the right tomato to use, but that's what we have until we make it work.
This right here is one of our only big tomatoes. As you can see right here, let me see if I can get a close-up. Right there, there's the two big tomatoes. We also have some more starting over here. Most of the other ones are cherry tomatoes. For example, this one right here is cherry tomatoes. So we're trying to see if we can get this one to do well. Usually people grow them in greenhouses around here because they don't like all the wetness, all the rain that we get here. We're hoping in the future that we're actually going to be able to build a greenhouse, but we haven't been able to get around to it as of yet. Right over here we're putting a taro root bed, and we're putting taro root here and here. So we're also have a path that's going we're trying to make a path that goes from that bush all the way over there. And we're just going to make this area in between the path and this path another bed for taro root. Let's get started on pulling the weeds and tilling it and leveling it. We just finished working with this bed, and we're going to plant taro root here. We found from experience that taro root really likes the soil to be tilled. Unlike some other plants, people would say, you know, it's not good to till the soil because there's things in the soil that you may kill. Unlike that, the taro root likes it because if you plant it in soil that hasn't been tilled, the tubers aren't going to get as big, and thus you have smaller fruit. But if you till the soil, it allows the taro root to expand and produce more fruit, or tubers. Now what we're going to do is we're going to dig a hole for every taro root that we plant. And then we're going to, of course, fill it up, and we're going to make it really loose, the dirt really loose in that hole, and then we'll plant taro root in it. And we're going to do these about 24 inches apart. Now let's go in and go get the taro root to plant in this bed. Now here we have the taro root, as you can see right here. This is the taro root, and we're going to go ahead and dig this up. Pretty simple. We've already harvested this a couple times. This one right here is the mother. And all we got to do is dig all the way around it. That's weird. I never usually see one this long. Anyways, interesting. That's the little tuber right there. We could take this and plant this too. Here's another one. And another one. And this right here is pretty much just the mother. We'll take this and plant this as well. Now right here we're going to start with the first one. We're going to dig a good sized hole so that it has plenty of area. We're going to put it right here, actually, more over here. Dig it really good. We're trying to loosen up the section. Ooh, almost got your finger.
You did.
Anyways, just loosening it up really well. Again, this taro root likes loose soil. Now we're just gonna dig a hole and plant this in it. We chopped off the leaves, and here's the newest one coming up right here. So it should be fine. It has the base root, it's fine, and it has a leaf coming up. It'll be just fine. Okay, let's finish doing the rest of them. There we go, we planted 12 from here all the way down here. Hopefully they're gonna grow well in here. We're gonna plant eventually another row back past the first row and maybe do another row. And we may also put some flowers in the middle as well. Now a little bit ago we just pulled up some taro root from this area, as you saw. We pulled it up right here and then right there. Now what we're doing in front of the cistern is we're going to pull weeds all the way around this thing, which I'm about to do in a minute. And we're going to build a structure around it with some wire and some elephant grass that we built the fences out of to try to keep the sheep from getting on the tin. Sometimes they'll come over here and they'll walk on the tin. We can't have them doing that anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and start pulling the weeds around here. We may not get to building the entire structure, the fence around it, to keep them off, but we're going to try to just pull the weeds first. Here you go, guys. I finished kind of pulling all the way around this cistern. Hopefully that'll do for now. I've kind of discovered the problem that we've been having here with the bees. What's been going on is we've been having certain type of ants attack and basically live on top of the hive, and then they eat the bees themselves. They attack a bee and then they eat it, and they just live on top of the hive and live off of the bees. And I seem to have found their headquarters. It seems like this is the real big hive here, and what they're doing is once they grow out of this hive, they may move to on top of my beehives. So we need to figure out somehow how to take care of these ants. Let me get a close up of them. That's them. They'll chop up a bunch of bees and eat them all and feed them to their young. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to check out the video on the screen. Chances are, if you enjoyed this video, you're pretty much going to enjoy the video I have on the screen. That is my previous vlog, so check that one out. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure to like this video, comment below, let me know what you thought about this video. If you have any tips on me with my gardening, whatever, I really appreciate your tips, guys, that y'all leave in the comments. Don't think I don't enjoy them, and I always try to at least put a heart and like on them. Just tell you that I have seen it, and sometimes here and there if you have a question, I try to reply to them. Anyways, like, subscribe, comment below. I will see you next time at Homestead. Bye.